Today, I'm going to share the strategies that help me score perfect on the LSAT reading comp section. Hey, what's up everybody? Steve Schwartz here from LSAT Unplugged, joining you today to share the strategies that have allowed me to consistently achieve perfection on the LSAT reading comp section. Before I get into it, a little bit about LSAT Unplugged. We offer live online classes via Zoom, on-demand video courses, small group coaching, and one-on-one coaching. Check out the links below this video to find out more and to book a call with me and my team. We'd love to help you out. So I find that far too many students have trouble with LSAT reading comp. They approach it like SAT reading comp or like an AP English exam. It's nothing like that. LSAT reading comp passages are written in a very particular style. You're not trying to memorize all the information in the passage. You are not reading for the content. You are reading for the structure. So with that in mind, I have three major strategies that I personally use that I wanted to share with you today to help you achieve LSAT reading comp perfection as well. The first is the fewer notes, the better. I find the students who do the best on reading comp mark very little in their notes, or possibly not even at all. It takes time to write things down, and it takes time to read things as well. And the reading comp highlighting and underlining tools on the LSAT are quite glitchy and imprecise. They tend not to work that well, and so I recommend simply avoiding them altogether. Make some very brief notes on your scratch paper if you're going to make any notes at all, and simply aim to distill what is the main idea of the passage, what is the author's opinion. If they could leave you with only one idea, what would that one idea be? The details, the supporting examples, you can go back and find all of that when you need to, but I wouldn't spend time summarizing every single paragraph or anything like that. The second strategy I want to share with you today is to read for structure, not for details. What I mean by this is do not look to fully comprehend every single nitty-gritty detail on some random, super technical scientific passage. It's going to be difficult for you to absorb it in the moment, and you have very limited time. If you get bogged down on the passage, you're not going to have sufficient time for the questions. So when you see those details, simply note where they appear so you can return to that part of the passage if and when you need to later to help you solve a particular question. When you're reading the passage, aim to get an overall sense of the structure, seeing how the author goes about making their arguments and what different viewpoints they're presenting, if any. Who are the people or groups of people supporting a particular viewpoint, and where is the evidence they advance in support of that viewpoint? So again, you can go back and find it when you need to. Finally, the third strategy I want to share with you today is to approach the questions in a particular order. There is no reason to approach the questions in reading comp in the actual order they appear, because certain types of questions help to serve as a foundation for what will come later in the passage. In particular, I recommend that you start with the general global questions like main idea, primary purpose, passage organization, best title for the passage, the tone of the passage, the author's opinion, if any. These are equivalent to your orientation question in logic games. They help set the stage. After all, if you don't know the main idea, you don't know anything. Better to build that foundation first and understand what is the main idea. Have your own idea of that in mind when you're going into the answer choices to better spot LSAT's articulation of that idea. Second, you're going to have your detail-oriented questions that on the paper LSAT would have specific line references. On the digital LSAT online, they are highlighted in turquoise, and so you want to look for those specific lines in the passage, reading a bit above and a bit below for context, of course. These will naturally lead you towards going back into the passage, and that's perfectly fine. Then last, you're going to have those more general inferential questions that require a bit more reading between the lines for what the author would be most likely to agree with. These, of course, are going to take a bit longer and be a bit more time consuming, which is why I recommend saving them for last. But luckily, you will have gone back to the passage enough times by this point that you will have a better understanding of the passage and be more primed to answer this question relatively quickly. So there you have it, folks. The three main strategies I wanted to share with you today. First, the fewer notes, the better. Secondly, read for structure, not for details. And finally, approach the questions in a strategic order, general and global, then local with line references or details, and finally, the more inferential questions. Anyway, folks, that's all for now. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please do me a favor and share this video with someone who needs to see it. I don't do any advertising for these videos. I rely only on word of mouth to help get the word out. So if you know anyone else studying for the LSAT who's having trouble with LSAT reading comp, please take a moment to share this video and send it their way. It could make the difference for them in achieving a top score on the LSAT, as it did for me, and it just takes a minute. In the meantime, folks, I wish you all the best and take care.